Mr. Tim Boyce, I'm pumped you're here. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Well, you don't live that far from here. You're
2 minutes.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Nothing. A skip and a hop and a jump for you.
Yeah, I'm just off Auburn. I'm on Auburn, just off Heron Cove Road, down by Thornhill Pizza, where that used
Yeah,
to be.
yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And you brought the coffee too.
Of course.
We were just talking about being busy. You're busy. How many jobs do you have? You're a scout. You're a head coach. You're a technical director. You're
It's been a busy month.
a month. I feel like it's a busy life.
It is a busy life, but this time of year is crazy. I've been literally probably since preseason camp started, 10, 12-hour days working. Yeah, it's been nuts.
You're saying preseason camp starts, and then from there you're flat out busy.
Yeah, so tryouts with minor hockey don't start till October 1st now, which I think is a bit of a change from when we played. So we do preseason camps all September. So we're on the ice a lot there. Like I think we did close to 70 hours of preseason camps in the month of September. And then obviously I've got my max stuff on top of that as well. So
When we were younger, when did we go on? When did we start?
man, I thought it was right when like school started, like in September. Like I thought we got going with tryouts, and tryouts were only like 3-4 days, and then you were right into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that intimidation factor coming. It was always the nostalgic feeling to this day whenever we play at noon, the smell of Centennial.
Yeah.
It reminds me of tryouts and fear and anxiety of trying to make that AAA team, always.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Right around school, that was we had a conversation with someone about how January for hockey players isn't really the new year; it's September. New
Yeah.
team,
Yeah.
new classmates. It's
Yeah.
September.
I think and I could be completely off base here, but I think that's why they kind of moved it forward, is they want kids to get settled in school first, and then deal with the stress of hockey tryouts and all that. So
Good stuff.
yeah,
Congratulations, by the way, on the new technical director job with the Halifax Hawks.
Thanks.
That's a big accomplishment. I know a lot of people were gunning for that job, and you cracked the code. So well done.
thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, I've told a lot of people I'm very lucky to have a job in hockey. You know, I've been around it my entire life. I love it, and yeah, I'm lucky to do something that you love, like you're doing.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
The one thing about this job, there was no interview process. I just did it. But for the Halifax Hawks, you kind of have to. I kind of miss that part of life, is applying for jobs. I don't know. I like telling people about myself.
Yeah.
But when you go in for a job application or a job interview for the Halifax Hawks, what are the questions like?
You know what? It was pretty lengthy. They really did a good job with the interview process. There was 2 or 3 interviews, written like I had to make presentations, and yeah, like just my plan for what I wanted to do with the association from a technical perspective on ice, and it was thorough. Like my prior life, I did some hiring with Goal Line, so I can tell you the interview process was a lot more thorough than what we were doing at Goal Line. That's for sure.
They good into like the background, like the nitty gritty, like they just want to know everything about you.
Yes and no. More or less just technical background, experience, knowledge. You know, philosophies, what you want to do with the position. So yeah, it was good.
And it's nice also to have a life in hockey, to know the things that you enjoy about it and maybe some of the things you don't like about it, because we're human. You know, you're in the dressing room and you hear things people say, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this, I like this.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have your own opinion and just kind of form the organization. And I'm sure you take other opinion from other people, but it must be nice to be able to have a set of hands on something that you can slowly mold.
Totally. It's not like any job. There's good things about the jobs and things that you probably don't want to have to deal with, but yeah, there's definitely more positive than negative for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Which is it refreshing knowing that, okay, you're the technical director for the Hawks, but then you get to kind of move and you get to go work with Gatineau and Scout, and then maybe you get a little too overworked with that, and okay, maybe I get to go work with 14, 15, 16-year-olds with the Max. Is it refreshing rotating through, or can it get overwhelming with all three?
No, you know what? It is. It's funny, actually. I was having this conversation with a coach last night. So I was on the ice running we have C practices on Thursday night with the Hawks. So U11C and U15C. And obviously completely different environment from what you're doing with the Max. So you can, you're focused on skill development with them, but you can go out and, it's fun. They're out there chatting with their buddies. There's a very big social aspect to it. And we're grouping kids in stations with their friends and making sure they're laughing and having a good time because, you want them to come back to the rink. So it's definitely two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So you get to see different aspects, and it's certainly fun. It's different. Yeah.
You mean are you trying to say like the guys that are there literally just to have fun and not try to go to the NHL?
Yeah, I mean, there's kids that are obviously out there that want to get better, want to improve. Their goals are to make a competitive team the next year. But there's also kids that are out there that just want to have fun and are out there because they enjoy the game and being around their friends and you can so it's an interesting balance. You want to make sure that the practices are challenging, you're improving the players, but you also want to make sure that the players that are there for the social aspect are having fun and enjoying it because you want them to come back as well. So
we have a guy that works here, Jeff Warburton, and he played like C his whole life in a lower level, and he said that it was the most fun he's ever had at, I think how old is Jeff, 27? Around there. He's always talking about stories from back in the day, and then dudes and I sit here and we talk about the competitive days of trying to go to the NHL, but the stories are very similar. It's like, no, we went on a road trip, had fun, and dudes and I are sitting here, yeah, I guess we went on a road trip and had fun. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Just like you said, different ends of the spectrum, which you don't think, but sitting here 7-10 years later, how far I'm removed from the game, it's same stories.
Totally.
Which is great.
Yeah. No, it's awesome, man. I love it. It's I look forward to Thursday nights. It's been good. We're 2 weeks in. We didn't really do the same thing last year. We were looking at ways we could improve the C-level experience. So one of the things was just I'm going to get on the ice and run more practices with the C-level team. So it's been good so far. It's been really good.
That's great. What are some challenges with the technical director side of making sure that everyone is, having fun? Ice time a challenge at Centennial?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's like any job, any organization. I think people are your biggest challenge, right? Personalities, expectations, things like that. I think that's just the biggest thing is managing those. We do have ice time challenges, obviously. It's crazy. Like when I was growing up, we would have 2 practices a week, easy, sometimes 3. Ice time wasn't a challenge. Now, with the growth of female hockey, ringette, figure skating, like it's just the ice time is not there anymore. So trying to find teams 2 practices is a really big challenge. Really big challenge.
I bet it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great rink though, Centennial. I hope they don't tear it down. I hope it stays.
Stuart and the staff there keep that thing in top shape. They paint it every year. If there's something wrong, they fix it. They take really good care of it. And, I think that goes back to when Jack Pateri was there. Like that was Jack's baby. He took care of it. And, they take a lot of pride in that place, and you can tell when you walk in.
And I like how you say they don't change things. They just fix them.
Yeah.
I like that. It looks the exact same from when I was 10 years old.
Yeah, and it's always clean. It's always clean. You never find, you walk into a dressing room, they're clean. You walk down the hallways, they're clean. It's, they take care of it.
For myself, there's a respect factor with that place. It's, I remember once it was the middle of COVID, and I was trying to mic up Why Not from the Mooseheads, but they just had a skate there, and it was at that point of COVID where no one really knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Hockey was allowed back in. You had to wear a mask. So the guy coming in with the camera to try to mic someone up was a little, I don't know. And I forget the gentleman that approached me and said, "I don't think so, not today, Justin." And I didn't put up a fight at all. I just said, "Absolutely, thanks for giving me a heads up." It's just you don't fight with that place. It is what it is because that place has given me so many memories. I'm not going to argue with anything. Okay, I'm not here. That's fine. I'll come back another day. It's just one of those places where you have to have respect for because it's given you so much.
They were very tough when it came to the COVID restrictions. Like they followed them to a T during COVID. No question. Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I was looking at your elite prospects. I want to know what the fans were like in what a way to start a question.
Did you have to comb through the dust?
No, it was right at the top. Right at the top, baby. Junior A. Or Maritime Junior A. I guess it was called Maritime Junior A back then. Or it still is.
Yeah.
Maritime Junior Hockey
they call
League.
it the MHL now.
MHL. Yeah. We do Junior B games. We stream them. And the fans are, they are what they are. But I wanted to know what fans were like in Junior A and East Hants back in the day.
You know what? It was awesome. We had a very good team. We had a really good team my first year. Like I think we only had 2 rookies. But they packed the place. There was nights we'd have 500, 600, 700 people. Playoffs, we played Antigonish, went 7 games, and there was in the first round and like probably 1,500. Like you couldn't find a spot. It was standing room only. Yeah, it was wild.
Stop.
Yeah, lots of good people up there that supported the team. You know, I remember the Ritzies obviously come to mind. There was some really good people up there that supported that team up there.
What, did you live in Halifax and then just make the commute out there? Or
Man, we had this old school bus, like it was like right out of Slapshot, and it would come into Halifax and pick everybody up.
Where was the pickup spot?
Well, there's a couple downtown, mostly because most of the guys were going to school, living in the South End. So, oh man, what a rickety old thing that was. Broke down, like I don't know how many times it broke down. I think Jamie Brown's father fixed it 3 or 4 times. Norm Thompson, who works with the U18 league now, like he was involved. I think he drove the bus at one point and was working on it. Like it was just, I don't even know where they found it. Like I think they probably paid $300 for it. It was a piece of work.
Any close calls getting to the game, like 15 minutes before rolling in?
Oh yeah, no. Like I think there was definitely a game or two missed because the bus broke down. Like it was one of these things. Like if you rolled up and the bus driver had a sledgehammer and was hitting it on the side, like you wouldn't be shocked. It was a piece of work.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Oh, it was good.
And I also want to know, when I played in junior A for Amherst, one of the most intimidating buildings to go into. Was it like that back in the day? And was Jimbo the coach there?
So I played half a season there. Chuck Ross was my coach.
Okay.
But before Chuck, I can't remember who the coach was there. You know what? It was still an intimidating place to play. The fans up there, they either love you or hate you. If you're playing really well, they love you. If you're not, they'll be all over you, like all over you. And we didn't have a very good team when I was up there, so they were literally like all over us all the time. Yeah. But you know what? Fantastic place, awesome rink, good people. Like I said, I only spent a half a season there, but it was awesome. I billeted with the trainer Willie Boyle, and I think Willie's still there. So
really,
yeah, we had some fun up there. Yeah, we definitely. I mean, hockey's changed now, but you know we had some fun up there.
Amherst, it's a great place.
It is. Yeah. You know what? They got a nice little setup there. You know, they're kind of right in the middle of all the teams, so the travel schedule is not awful. And yeah, like if you're winning up there, what a place to play.
I bet.
Yeah.
When we played against them, they were winning.
Yeah.
And just jam-packed on a Wednesday night. They're giving away a washing machine at the first intermission. Just,
Right.
Everyone was putting that 50-50 ticket in to win some. I don't know. It was just that environment up in Amherst was fun. But no, I was just wondering back then.
No, it was... I got actually a good story. I was coaching with the Wolverines. It was my first year in junior, assistant coach, and Dean Hopkins was the head coach. And I could probably tell this now. I mean, I look back on it now, and you're like, you know what? You were pretty immature. Like, that was just foolish.
How old are you? You were young.
Yeah, man. Like, I think I was 24 when I was assistant coach. So it's like, or 26, like almost 20 years ago. Anyway. We were going in there. We were playing them in the playoffs, and they had this massive sign in the back of the stadium says "Welcome to the Jungle." So our bus pulled up for the game. And we were there about 2.5 hours before game time, and we walk into the arena, and it was the first game. They had home ice, I think. So we walk in, we see this massive "Welcome to the Jungle" sign in the back of the building. Dean looks at me and he's like, "We should put that in our dressing room." So we go up. Sure enough, we pull the sign down before the game. Take it into our dressing room. It's in there. The boys are going wild. They love it. They're like, yeah, we own the jungle. We own the jungle. And anyway, so the rink attendants are coming out to get ready for the game. I think they're surfacing the ice, and they're like, "Where's our sign?" So they start putting 2 and 2 together. They think that we've got it. And anyway, they're like, they wouldn't let us start the game till we gave the sign back, and they wanted to come in and search our dressing room. Anyway, we ended up giving them the sign back, but it was pretty funny. Pretty funny story for the start of playoffs.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Just took it down.
Just took it down.
How
put
did they
it
have suspicion?
Well,
Who else would have taken it?
Who else would have taken it, right? Anyway, so yeah, it was pretty funny.
Oh, that's hilarious. There's always some funny stories of guys who are healthy scratches at those games and have to go sit up in the stands and they got like the suit on. It's none I can't tell here, but there's always some funny stories about that one.
Yeah.
And also Cole Harbour, Colts. Did you play in Scotia 1?
Do we play in Scotia 1?
When you were on?
So the Colts weren't actually in the Maritime League when I played.
Where were they?
I think actually the Colts. Did the Colts move to East Hants and become the Penguins? I'm pretty sure the Colts moved to East Hants.
Oh, did they? I was just looking at least pro.
I think the Colts moved to East Hants, and then East Hants became Yarmouth.
Okay.
Paul Curry took East Hants and moved it to Yarmouth, and then I think he sold it to Mitch Bonner, or actually it might have been. There's a guy from Halifax, and then he turned it over to Mitch Bonner. Anyway, East Hants was Yarmouth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. It doesn't say that on Elite Prospects. So you didn't get any games in at Cole Harbour 1.
No, there was no team there when I played.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I was trying to picture a junior A team in Cole Harbour, and I was just like, I don't know if I guess it would work, but
I think back in the day they probably drew pretty good back when they had a good rivalry with Halifax. I think talking to some of the like the Shellmans and all those guys, they got all those stories. I think they would have played against Cole Harbour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always hated that rink. I always forgot a piece of gear. Oh, those boards were stiff as anything. Either you got hurt or a teammate got hurt.
They're better now. They had them replaced.
Did they?
Yeah. Yeah. The only problem I have with that rink now is trying to get into a dressing room before games.
Oh, they don't let you in?
No, it's like 45 minutes to an hour. Like,
you got to talk into the white part. There you go. It's all good.
Yeah.
You can pull it over if you want.
It's like 45 minutes to an hour. A couple years ago, our kids were getting dressed in the foyer out front.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, and the security guard then all of a sudden came over and was like, okay, well, we'll get you a dressing room. We were like, thanks.
I remember one time we were streaming a Steel Subaru game, and you guys were getting dressed, not dressed, but in the parking lot. You guys were just...
Yeah.
And it was 30 minutes till game time?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Well, COVID, they were another rink that was really tough to deal with. Like I think they were like 15 minutes before you go on the ice. They were letting you into the building. So literally like we were out doing like chalk talk in the parking lot one game or before a game. And like there's homeless people roaming around that area quite a bit.
Bus stop.
And this guy was clearly intoxicated. And we're like huddled in a circle doing chalk talk on a board. And this guy comes over and he's like 3 sheets to the wind and just pokes his head into our pregame chat and starts like just rambling nonsense. Tony had to grab him and was like, please leave. Yeah,
that's where we need the camera.
Oh, man. Yeah, it was... I had a good laugh at it. It was pretty funny.
I know, like, playing Major Midget back in the day, like you need that time to get in the headspace. Those are big games. You just need that. I couldn't imagine getting ready in a parking lot having a homeless guy yell at me. Just couldn't imagine.
No. But you know what? It is what it is, and everybody dealt with it, and hopefully that's behind us. So,
how's the season going so far this year?
It's good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like where we're at. Different team, obviously. We've only got 3 guys back from last year, but seen a lot of improvement in the last month. Yeah, I like where we're at. I think we're heading in the right direction. We can compete with every team in the league. I think when we play the right way. There's some certain things that we have to do, and we're starting to get there and starting to get it. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the team we had when we went to Thunder Bay.
Oh, yeah.
Years ago, yeah. Like, we didn't have any superstars. We had very good goaltending with Jake Gooby and Liam Oxner. And we had a group that would just bought in, committed to playing a certain way to have success, and got hot at the right time. So that's kind of what we're striving for. And we keep telling the guys, like, we don't want to be the best team in October. We want to be the best team in February or March. And like I said, we're we're headed in the right direction, I think. So it's good.
Pressure's a funny thing.
Pressure is a funny thing. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And you know what? It's nice. Like this year, I don't think anybody's looking at us saying Halifax is the dominant team this year. You know, we had that run for about 5 years, probably where we were, and we'll let somebody else wear that hat and see how they deal with it.
I know, you came up a little short last year at the TELUS Cup in Newfoundland, but I wanted to know, was that your first time in Newfoundland? I think we had this conversation.
That was literally my first time stepping on soil in Newfoundland in coaching, in over 20 years of coaching. Yeah.
So I want to know about that experience.
It was awesome, man. Just great people, great city. Yeah, it was an awesome experience. And then I was literally back there a month and a half later for Tony's stag party. So
were you?
20 something years of coaching, can't get over there, and then I'm over there literally twice in the span of a month and a half, 2 months. So, but it was good. Yeah, it was a good tournament, good experience. Obviously at the time losing to Moncton really stung, and the kids were really upset, and tried to tell them at the end of the game, like, you probably won't realize it right now, but when you look back on it, you're going to understand that you had a really, really successful year. And when you reflect, and when I said that, I didn't, not for the life of me, thought Moncton was going to go to the TELUS Cup and run the table, win every game, and be a national champion. I knew they had a good team. I actually said to John in the handshakes that, I thought they had a team that could make some noise up there, because they were deep, strong, well coached, good goaltending, but not in a million years. And I don't think, if you asked them, they probably would have told you the same thing, that they wouldn't think they were going to go up there and run the table. But good for them. It's awesome to see. Yeah,
it's good that you say that. Like, you're not just sour about it. You're like, yeah,
no, man, that's good for Atlantic Canada hockey. Like, I think the more we can win around here, and the more success we can have on the national stage, I think the more it's just going to open more doors for players around here. And so, you see the national teams and U17 teams and things like that. Like, they're dominated by Quebec, Ontario, Alberta. We get a couple kids every year, but I think hockey is improving here, and I think the more success we can have on the national stage, it hopefully will help some of our players down here.
Since coaching the Max starting in 2013 all the way to now, what are some tidbits that you've taken from the game that have maybe changed a bit about the game from then till now that you like to keep close to you?
Patience. Players are different. They got a lot more going on in their lives. It's not all about hockey. I think the game has obviously changed. I think every year, you learn something about the game, if you're watching, studying games at the higher levels. It's like anything. You gotta change, and you gotta go with the flow, or you'd be left behind. So yeah.
When you got the call to go and coach the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League team, Nova Scotia, what was your reaction like?
So I knew I was going to be part of that a while back, because it's part of the Canada Games process. So yeah, when I was named to the Canada Games team, obviously I was really excited. I'd applied a couple times in the past. I'm not a guy that's coaching at the major junior level, so I appreciate the opportunity. I'm not going to say it is, but you never know. Could be the highest point in my coaching career for coaching Canada Games. So, I'm excited for it. I appreciate the opportunity. I'm looking forward to the challenge. We got a great group with Nick and Zach, and the kids all seem to be good kids as well. So it'll be a great experience.
When you're going, like, we had trouble. Well, this guy had trouble announcing. There was no name bars, and it was tough just to know everyone who was out there.
Yeah.
As a coach, was that ever tough? Going, who's in the 18 again? Okay, you go on the power play. Just knowing your guys, because you're not with all these guys year round. Was that ever difficult, or your roster pretty well?
Know the roster pretty well.
Yeah.
And I see these guys a lot during the league play too.
Okay.
Right? Maybe Nick and Zach have a different thought on it, but no, it was pretty easy. Yeah.
And is it the tryout phase, or that is the set team?
No, there still can be
There
changes.
still can be changes. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the date is, and Nick and Darren will sort that stuff out. I think it might be Christmas, but
Yeah.
yeah, the majority of those guys will be going to PEI for Canada Games.
You're around the game a lot more than I am, but when I walked in there, we were over in the 4 pad doing the Atlantic Challenge Cup, and these guys were streaming over in Dieppe, and I poked my head in. The first game I saw was the Nova Scotia New Brunswick game, not the championship game, but the first game. Man, I was impressed. And I don't know if it was really good hockey because the scouts were there and the guys were, playing a little bit more physical, whatever it was, but I was really impressed with some of these kids and how they maybe just how they don't make mistakes as much as we used to. There's no blind pass through the middle hoping some guy gets it. It's okay, if no one's there, I'm going to turn back, move it to the point. I was really impressed with it. Over the past couple of years, since 2013, but what's one aspect that you think has changed? I know I already asked the question and you said, guys are busier, players have changed, but in technical points of the actual physical game of hockey, what's one element that you think has changed from then till now? Because I was watching them, and I didn't play like that. I didn't see guys. It was impressive.
I think it's just the focus on speed and skill and creativity, and I think that there's just more and more of an emphasis on that now. You don't see as much contact in hockey. They're obviously trying to make it a safer sport in that regard, and I think just the skill development is crazy. It's off the charts now. We didn't have any of that growing up.
No.
None, right?
Well, it looks like it's a package for them. Like, there's no guy who's just dumping it, laying a hit, then changing.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that.
Well, you look at all the analytics out there now, clean exits and clean entries and versus uncontrolled or controlled. It's just, the game it's crazy. It's just analyzed to death now, and an emphasis, I think, is just there's more of an emphasis on skill and puck possession, right? It's not as much about the dump and chase game as it used to be.
Did you see what Wayne Gretzky said on TNT the other day? Analytics are for losers. Did you see that?
I didn't. No.
And like Biz was talking about something like, analytics this, analytics that, and
Right.
Gretzky just goes, "Boys, stats are for losers. If you can win championships, you're all right in my books." And I looked at that, and I think he's right a little bit. You have to play the game and not worry so much about the numbers.
100%. Yeah, I agree. But I think there are certain things you can take out of analytics and certainly use as a coach. No question.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was looking, I had a couple of my games analyzed by a friend 2 days ago that works in analytics, and he sent me this, like, it was literally like a 10-page stats package. It was wild. But they don't lie. Like, it's interesting. Like, you look at, again, like, you're going in talking about controlled entries or controlled exits out of zones, and you start looking down the list. Your top players are your top players. Those are the guys that are getting it done, and the guys that need some work on puck handling and hockey sense and things like that. Those are the guys that are struggling a little bit in those areas. So there is some truth to it for sure. But again, I'm certainly not one of them. I probably lean towards Gretzky a little bit on when it comes to analytics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just wasn't a thing in my day, so not my day. It's only 10 years ago. It just
Yeah.
definitely a point. Not that. Let me ask you this: when you played, do you think you played in the right era? Or
No.
No.
Oh man, no. I played defense, and for me, defense was a starting point of when the puck was dropped. That's basically where I lined up, and where I ended up when the whistle went, who knows? Most of the time, it was in front of the other team's net. Like I wanted
the other team's net.
Like, I wanted to play the game offensively, always join the rush, and coaches were screaming and yelling at me, "You got to stay back! You got to stay back!" Like, "Oh, Timmy Boyce can't play defense," and they were partly right. I probably couldn't play defense, and I just wasn't strong enough to defend at times. But I think I would have had a lot more success playing in this era because the game is a lot more free, and players are encouraged, defensemen are encouraged to join the play and leave the blue line and attack down low, and just all things that when I played, you were looked at like you didn't know what you were doing, or you were a liability on the ice. Yeah.
That's why Barron plays why he plays. Hey, you just said when he was with the Max, just go.
The automatic breakout, I called him.
What? So what? He just took the puck and took it.
Whenever the puck was dumped in his corner, like you could probably go grab a coffee because you knew he was. You didn't even have to say anything. You just knew the puck was coming out of your end and it was coming out clean. So
that good, eh? Wait, so he was how old was he? He was just first year, so that's 14, 15?
15, yeah.
15, he's doing that.
Yeah, he was just. You know what? The offensive side of his game wasn't developed at that point in time. Like I think he might have had 10, 15 points in his year there with it. Like it wasn't astronomical numbers, but he was just so smart, breaking the puck out and in transition, seeing the ice, beating guys with his legs. Like he was just, he was next level when it came to that stuff.
When he started to create a buzz about his name, do you remember coaches calling you?
Oh yeah. We had I had a lot of like schools in the U.S. that were inquiring, asking me about him, things like that, and yeah, I mean any player like that, you're gonna get a lot of calls on.
Yeah, it's exciting to have a guy. I mean, you've had some guys in your organization that have gone on to done some great things in hockey. It must feel good.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. I got a really nice text message last week from Tyler Heinem. There's a kid that was basically cut in Cole Harbour, and everybody said he had a bad attitude, which I never seen in 2 years I had him. It was awesome for us. He went on to play in Rouen, won a President's Cup, Memorial Cup, and literally just played his first AHL game last week or a couple weeks ago, and he sent me a really nice text message, just basically saying, if I hadn't given him a chance, he probably wouldn't have been there, and makes it all worth it, right?
Those are the little things.
Yeah, no, it's you know what? I took a screenshot of it. I saved it. I'll keep that one with me for sure.
He was one of the first Q guys to ever come on the podcast.
Oh yeah,
him.
Yeah.
Matty Welsh was one of the early ones as well.
Yeah.
Just all great Max guys, and just, it's I don't want to say it is a family, but having that Max logo on you, it's definitely helped the company for sure in lots of ways. I remember the first time we came to Thunder Bay, or not first time, the only time.
Yeah.
I might have had $5 in my bank account. Dude's probably $4.
Right.
And we were sitting there doing a dance competition for Dude's girlfriend's mom just to try to scrounge up some change. And I don't know whose mom, Camo's mom was like, "Are you guys coming to Thunder Bay?" And we're like, "No, I got $5 on me. I'm not going to Thunder Bay." And then she goes, "Okay, I'll see what I can do." And then that in my head triggered, okay, let's start a GoFundMe, try to get something to get going. And then Camo's mom reaches out to Barron. Barron donates a jersey, signs it, auctions it off. And it just like one thing after another, the Halifax Max have always helped this company. So it's great to come from a place that gives back. It's wicked.
Yeah, we've been lucky. We've had some really good families over the years. And I think that's one of the things we try and focus on is just making sure that we have good people in the dressing room. And the Camo's are awesome. Another family just had them for a year, but great people. Was actually talking to Mitch 2 weeks ago. I think he was going to try and play U23 in the Hawks. So we have like a U23 program.
Oh yeah,
with the Hawks. Yeah, they play a game every like Sunday night, no practices or anything like that. But I think he wasn't allowed to play because he's played Junior B or something like that.
He's too good.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, but they're awesome people too. Yeah.
Going back to did you play in the right era thing? When was the first time you saw yourself play on camera?
Oof. Probably the old Dalhousie Bantam tournament. If you ever remember that. They used to do a massive Atlantic Canada tournament. All the teams came to Dal and played.
What year would that have been?
93, 92, 93. Eastlink would have, I don't know if it was Eastlink back then, but Cable 10 TV would have did the championship game on TV.
So you just recorded VHS
type
thing?
Yeah. The only reason I remember that it was on TV is because I remember seeing the clips. Desi Munden danced me at center ice for the game-winning goal. I turned it over at center ice, actually, and he danced me and went in for the game-winning goal. So
the first time you ever saw yourself on TV was getting danced.
Yeah, championship game, yeah.
Sorry about that.
Desi and I still have a good laugh about that every once in a while. I see him at the rink on Friday when I was playing in that Friday night league, so we'll talk about it. So
I'm sorry to bring it up, but I got to ask another question. When you did, I'm sure you saw yourself other than getting danced at the red line there, but other than that, was there a moment of, wow, that's what I look like skating? And when you saw yourself, was there, oh, I got to make those changes? Maybe my shoulders are too high when I'm skating. Was there anything that
There was none of that.
There was none of that? You're just like, oh, that's me.
That's me. I'm, and again, just going back to then versus now, like there was nobody that would come up to me and be like, hey man, like you should work with a skating coach. Like that just didn't exist. Like
No,
there was no skating coaches, skill coaches, or anything like that back in the early 90s. You might go to Ali McDonald's Super Skills Camp in Antigonish or something in the summertime, and that would
like
be the
Moosehead's Ali McDonald?
Yeah.
He had a skating camp? Oh, yeah.
Oh man, he had a hockey camp in Antigonish. It was legendary for years. Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what keeps him in shape. Still playing on Thursdays.
Is he still playing?
Oh yeah.
He's the one who recruited me for the Mooseheads.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. He's funny.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, basically, I was trying to create a live streaming commercial. I thought you were going to say, "Oh, the first time I saw myself, it was incredible," and I was going to clip it, but it didn't work out.
Definitely not. No. I had a lot of holes in my game.
When did like the camps and all that start to come about? Like what year?
I don't know, man. That's a good question.
Like, I think Tom Duffy, that was a camp. I think Alan Andrews.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they've been around for a long time. Yeah. I mean, probably 2000s. Yeah, somewhere's there. Early 2000s, I would say. Probably started.
You never want to dabble in that?
Nah, man, I'm busy enough. You know what? Like I say this a lot. Like I'll do a little, like we do maybe once a week in the summer with some of the max guys. If you're coaching kids hard during the winter, they don't want to see you in the summer.
It's fair,
right? Like you need a break. Kids need a break from you. You need a break from them. If you're in their face 12 months a year, at some point they're going to get burnt out and the message is just going to get lost. So I try to get away from them a little bit in the summertime.
What do you like to do for your own sake to not burn yourself out? What do you do to get away from the game for a minute?
I take some time off in the summer. Yeah. You know what? Also, like, I think any coach just needs to realize when they're getting to that point where they're stressed. Like, if you're stressed and you're getting burnt out and you need a break, like, I got good assistant coaches. I can go to Tony and Craig and say, listen, like, you guys are going to run this practice today. I'm just going to sit in the background.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, all the time. Yeah. No, you got to lean on your assistant coaches from time to time. And, I think it's good for the kids, too, just a different voice every once in a while.
Yeah, I never thought about it from that perspective. You could definitely burn yourself out and get frustrated. I've definitely had some coaches in the past that don't even coach. They'll just yell at you, and you're like, this isn't accomplishing anything.
Right.
You can see they're frustrated.
Yeah, I mean, when you get to that point, I think maybe it's time to take a step back and let your assistant coaches run a practice or two.
Yeah. Is there ever a point when you're coaching where you wish you could watch a game from the stands? Like,
man. All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. It's funny. Like I was late getting to a game up in Pictou for the showcase because I was running our U7 program. And I walked in, and I think we were either up or down a goal. And I was like, man, I'd love to just go up in the stands and watch and take some notes with nobody knowing that I'm there, or just take some video. Anyway, I went on the bench, but hard to hide in the rink these days. So, but yeah, man, I think if you can sit up in the stands and watch a game or two, it's certainly a different perspective. But that's why there's video now, right? Everybody's watching video post game. But I think watching video, it's different. Watching video and watching a game live, you definitely get a different feel watching a game live. Yeah.
You're just getting thrown out of games on purpose now. Just, all right, boys, I got to go up in the room. I got to go up, sit down.
No.
see what's going on.
My younger years, yes. I got to watch myself now. I'm a role model for not just the Max, but
oh yeah,
a lot of different kids.
That's the thing. You are wearing a lot of different hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of hats.
Yeah.
It's a lot of. Yeah, I never thought about it from that perspective. You are a role model.
Yeah.
You have to put on an example for a lot of people in your community.
I see, I can look up in the stands any Saturday now and I'll see kids from the Hawks at the game. So,
and if you're wearing that jacket or like a Q jacket, It's like, oh, okay, I gotta show a little bit of respect around this individual, and hopefully.
Totally.
When did you learn that lesson, or have you just always known it?
I think it's a lesson that's just constantly evolving.
Okay.
Nobody's perfect. Everybody's a competitor. Sometimes your emotions can get the best of you, but I think, as a head coach, you need to learn. And honestly, for me, I think that's one of the biggest things that I've had to work on as a coach, is just controlling my emotions at times. And I think as you get older, it gets easier because you don't want the heart rate getting up as much as you are when you're in your 20s. So, I think it's important, and it's a lesson I learned. Like, if you're loose on the bench and losing your mind and not in the right state of mind, it rubs off on your players. And if you're constantly on the ref, your players are going to look at that as an excuse.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's just constant growth, man. And and the officials too. The officials, I've definitely learned they've got a tough job. They're not perfect either. They're trying to, do the best they can for two teams on the ice. Mm. And sometimes calls don't go the right way. I think now, rather than in the past, I would argue them. Now, like, I'll clip a video and I'll send it to our referee in chief, Corey, and just be like, hey man, here's a clip of something that happened in our game. Maybe it's a good educational piece for your officials. Feel free to share, and then leave it at that. So
cool.
Yeah.
Well said. People with this company always go like, what's next? What are you doing next? What are you doing next? And my answer is always, I love what I'm doing. I love podcasting. Right. I love live streaming. Don't love it, but I love when they do it. I love, I love miking guys up. I love being around the game. I love, I just love what I'm doing. And my question is for you the same. What is there something next, or are you just happy in the pocket you're in?
I'm happy where I'm at right now. I don't know what's next. I mean, I take it day by day, really. I guess it just depends. You never know what opportunities are going to be thrown in front of you. And if there is an opportunity thrown in front of you, then you look at it and you decide if it's right for you or if it's not. But as of right now, love what I'm doing. Love the Max. Love the Hawks. Enjoy working with Gatineau. Great group of people there. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. You never know.
It's a great answer. Never say never. We'll just keep an open mindset. Whatever comes your way, comes your way. All you got to do is just keep working hard.
I'm not one of these guys that like chases down jobs and applies for every job under the sun. That's not my style. I mean, I think I try and focus on doing a good job of what I'm doing, and if somebody notices it and thinks, you know what, he's doing a really good job, maybe he would be a good fit here, and I get a phone call, great. Or if I see a job that I think it's a reputable organization, I'll put a resume in, but I'm not just going to apply for the sake of applying. I think the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
That's how we feel about sales in this company. Like, there was days where I need money, need sales, need advertising. Yeah. And then I just realized, okay, well, if you just work hard, they'll call you, and you put on a good product, they'll call you.
Totally.
And that's the mentality we've had here for the past 3-4 years. I'm not going to sit here all day and call every company and go, do you want to send some money this way? It's like, no, just put on a good product and it'll come.
You work hard to build a good reputation. You don't want to ruin that by making a wrong decision. Right?
Very well said. I like that.
Yeah.
From now until every time I ask you this question, I love your answer. I got to get it from you again, but you're never worried about your team in October, November. You're always a past Christmas type of guy.
Yeah.
Going into, post-Christmas, and you said that your team is very similar to the year that you guys went to Thunder Bay, which in my opinion was one of the most favorite teams to be around. Just a great group of guys, really open, really welcoming, and hardworking, and didn't really have any pressure on them. Are you trying to repeat that this year with the same group?
I wouldn't say repeat it, because you're never going to duplicate a team. Certainly some qualities and traits from that team that year that we'd like to instill in this group. But these guys are their own group. They've got to kind of form their own identity, which I think they're working towards right now. But I will say, lot of similarities in the fact that they just all get along and support one another. Great group of kids, work hard, pay the price, will go through the wall. So, when you have a group like that, you got a good starting point. Yeah.
Good eggs in the room too. Just a
Awesome.
bunch of good kids.
Yeah, you know what? Check in with the rookies every once in a while to make sure the older guys and the veterans are pulling their weight and doing the right things and saying the right things, and the answers have been good so far. So,
Like it.
yeah.
Did you guys lose power at the Civic during Fiona? Have you guys? I know other teams have had to move and groove and not play at home.
I think the Forum lost power for a day.
Not the Civic, or you mean the whole
thing.
the whole thing?
Yeah.
But all your home games were played at home. You didn't have to miss out and play at like Centennial for a game, which
Yeah.
would be unreal if that was a thing.
That would be, yeah. No, we actually hosted Pictou at the Forum for a home game because they didn't have power.
Someone told me this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, at the Steel Subaru game when we were at RBC, someone said that you guys,
Yeah.
hosted
Yeah, so
Pictou.
they played a home game at the Forum. They ended up beating us, and I forget, they put a tweet out. It was something like their first road win in Halifax since 2010 or something. It was a crazy number. I forget how many years it's been since they've won in the Forum. And anyway, Cliff, our social media guy, sent out a tweet and said it didn't count because it was technically a home game. So. yeah, it was
That's
pretty
true.
Funny. Yeah, it was pretty funny, but
Fuck. Yeah. That's funny.
yeah.
Rest of the day, what are you doing? What time? How much time are we at?
We are at 50 minutes.
What's on the agenda for the rest of the day?
Yeah, I'm probably going to go play hockey at noon because I don't get enough of that.
Yeah, you're out there. I guess I'm not out enough, but every time I'm out, you're there.
Yeah, I try to get out as much as I can. Yeah, 2-3 times a week. Yeah. I'll probably do that. I got some bumpers that I got to move from Centennial to the Civic. Those Tim Hortons bumpers, those long dividers.
What do you mean? Oh, like they're in.
Yeah, they're in Centennial, and I got to get some of them up to the Civic for our U7 program. So I'll probably try and do that at some point this afternoon. And then tonight we've got we started. This is the first year for it, but we've started this kind of shared ice initiative with our U11 programs. So last year each team would do an hour and a half practice. So what I did this year is I took the 2 hour and a halves and put them together in a 3 hour block. So they're back to back.
I got you.
So team one will practice for an hour. We'll do a combined skills session with both teams on the ice at the same time in hour two. And then the second team will practice hour three. So I hop on the ice and just kind of coordinate the skill session in the second hour. So I'll be at Centennial for that tonight. And then after that, probably typical Friday night, I'll go home and Beth will probably have sushi waiting for us. So
Friday is sushi night.
Friday is sushi night, yes.
You guys get it from the Cove here? Or do you guys
got it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Have you?
No, it's not every Friday, but it's once a month type thing for us.
Incredible.
Oh yeah.
Great food there, yeah.
Whenever you walk into an establishment, do you get them delivered or do you pick it up?
Usually pick it up.
Whenever you walk into an establishment and you see the family in the restaurant, you know it's good. The
They're
kids are always doing homework.
Coloring
Yeah.
books. And they're always there. Always there. Yeah.
The first time I walked in and I just saw the family establishment, I'm like, oh, this is going to be good food.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah. So he used to work at, I think the guy that owns it, obviously husband and wife, but I think they were down. He was working at Sushi Nami as a chef, I think. Maybe on the waterfront or something. Someone
Okay.
was saying. So, yeah.
So he knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah. He's got quite a few years' experience, I believe.
Have you ever been to Al Halal's meat market? Right next to like Crystal Pizza.
I know what you're talking about. I haven't. My wife has told me about it and said that it's supposed to be pretty phenomenal. Have you?
Yeah.
And?
Phenomenal.
Is it?
And the prices are phenomenal. Here's the
Really?
thing, though. Sometimes you go in, I'll get a beef shawarma,
Yeah.
a burger, and a Coke. They'll charge me $12. But then I'll go 3 days later, get the same thing. They charge me $14. So it's one of those places.
I
It's
actually
just
kind of like that.
me too.
Yeah.
You go in
It's like
there,
old school.
and there's been times where they handed me the food and said thank you, and I'm like, I haven't paid yet.
Right.
It's just it's chaos, and it's just you feel like you're in the middle of a Middle Eastern country.
Yeah.
People arguing over the price of meat. They're putting it on the scale. It's like, that's the price. What are we doing?
Unreal.
And you're just,
love
I don't
that.
know. It's an experience
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
I love that.
It's cool. You got to get in
I
there.
should go in, yeah. I'm definitely going to go now. Yeah.
Good prices too. It's the best.
Sometimes.
Yeah, depends. And their hours are set. Look, I got I'm giving them promotion, kind of. Their hours say whatever. They open at 8 and they close at 8.
Yeah.
I'll be on the way home from golf. It's like 7:30. I'll call in an order, and I'm like, hey, can I make this order? And they're like, actually, we're closed, because they're just too lazy because they don't want to make the food. So you're just like, it says you're open till
Wow.
they pick up the phone. Like, obviously you're open. You just pick the phone
Right,
up.
right.
They just don't want to make it. Now we're closed. So
That's
it's just like one of
hilarious.
those places.
Unbelievable.
Awesome. Are they going to ever open the canteen in Centennial? I know that's a kind of a controversial question, but
You know what? The last time I talked to Stuart,
Yeah.
he said that they were going to.
okay.
I haven't heard anything. We got all kinds of Hawk stuff stored in the front area of that canteen that's got to get out of there. So
Oh, like memorabilia?
no, like jerseys and on ice training aids and all kinds of different stuff. So we'd have to clean that up. But Stuart said that they're going to open it. I don't know when or. who
I'd love
knows.
to get the ball rolling on that. If you guys need help, I'm dead serious. I'd love to be able to roll in there one day and grab an onion ring.
Oh man, I remember when I was a kid going into there. It was awesome, like the penny candy and
Yeah.
oh yeah,
The gum machine behind the net.
yes, yeah,
You'd go in there, you'd have 50 cents in your pocket. You'd just get a big old wad of gum. You'd go in the room, just start chewing away. Your jaw would be hurting by warm up,
yeah. Basically chew it into dust.
basically.
Yeah,
It's been there forever.
yeah.
No, I hope that canteen opens up. But I got to thank you for coming on, Tim.
No man, my pleasure. It's been fun.
You want to promote anything? You want to say anything? You want to give some advice? Do you want to say hi to anyone? Do you want to do anything?
No, I think I'm good.
You're good?
I'm good. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
we got a home game Sunday. So
Who are you
there
playing
go.
against?
Pictou. It's going to be a tough weekend. We're in Pictou Saturday night, and then we got Pictou on Sunday at the former Civic.
Okay, nice.
They got a good team.
Sam Pizza's on the way home.
Probably, yeah. There'll be a couple pies in our car for the coaches for sure.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, once again, man, thank you for coming on, Tim. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Everyone listening, thank you very much for tuning in once again. Friday, enjoy your weekend. That's all I got. Have fun. We're out. Peace. Oh, thank you, Tim. That was great.
Yeah.